Hey guys, welcome back to Flying in Space with Planethead. I am out here in Khanid space. I just got back from a great concert with a friend of mine. I am down here in Texas. Going to be traveling to Oklahoma tomorrow, so I thought I'd record this tonight and maybe get it posted tomorrow before I get on the road. Um, but I'm going to take a little bit of time to play while I'm awake and thought I would just run through some stuff. Got my little Punisher here. He's outfitted a little bit better than sorry, last time I was playing. If you look here, I've been able to upgrade to the multispectrals. Still basic stuff going on here. Don't kill me for this fit. Obviously, I'm just going to keep working on messing with it. The Punisher fit isn't that big for me right now. I'm really working toward in a couple days or weeks to move up into cruiser or battle cruiser space, but I want to get into that coercer sooner than later, because it does two things for me. It does more damage, and it also does it has more of a cargo space, so I can loot more, and then move on to the cruiser and that sort of thing. I did pick up a cruiser or a cormorant, not cormorant, courser blueprint, if I'm not mistaken. I think it should be close to be done. I threw it in the hopper here real quick. Let's check her out. I think I set her for 12 hours just to get the science job up a little bit. Come on, a little slow. Might be my internet connection. I should be a little bit careful with that. I am in a hotel room. So, just see here. So the coercer here did finish. So, I got that up to, should be like level 4, I think. Boy, this is really, yeah, 4%. So I'm going to throw this in here again, just while I sleep overnight. I'm going to put the time down here. See if I can't get that a little bit better. So we're going to do a run of, let's set up till tomorrow night. I should be able to go. I'll put it to 4. There we go. Maybe midday tomorrow if I get time. I'll get her up and running again there. So I've got this multi-frequency going on here. You know what? I am just going to bump this one up since I have my multi-frequencies in there. I'm going to bump this puppy up to A10 if I'm not, boy, this is running slow. Deliver. Okay, there we go. So that's at 7. Let's just bump this up to 10. I'm not sure I'll really need it for a little while, and I think I want to get to the 10%. I did get this free blueprint off of the daily rewards for the Vexor. Never going to turn down a BPC for a cruiser. Never know when you can use it. But let's just go ahead and we're at 7%, 8%. So let's go back over here to, so to get this puppy up to level 3, it'll be a little bit over 2 days. I got to work on my laboratory skills. Not the biggest importance of me right now, but okay. So that's up and running. So what I wanted to do in this video is just kind of show you how I start off checking out an area with cheap ships to see if I want to live in it or not. I'm not 100% sure if I want to live in this area, much less in this station, but at least I can get a good feel for it. So I'm going to go through a few things that I look for. Probably going to miss one or two. I really need to make a more structured video on this, but I think some of this will help you out. First off, you always want to pull up .lan and look not only in the system that you're in, but in the area. If you watched the couple videos that I saw made before, I started off over here when I came to the wormhole, and there was some goon swarm stuff going on over here, a couple stations. So I don't want to poke those guys too much, but they're probably not worried at all about me, so I'm not too worried about it. This is almost all low sec over here, so I thought I'd start taking a gander. Things that I'm looking for are production areas and possibly research areas, but I want it to be able to reprocess and produce so I can bring out blueprints and mess around, and there's a decent number of them here. Other things I look for are things that might be off the beaten path a little bit. Obviously, I'm in Azria right now. That's got almost everything I want here. And I'm not minding it too bad. We'll start off, we'll jump out in space here and I'll show you what I'm looking at there. Other things to look at here is there's a couple production systems here, and like I said before, the Goon Swarm area right here, just in the general area. Now up here, I'm not going to mess around with right now because it is, I think that's incursion is being incurred upon right now. So I'm going to leave this area right now. This should be over within a couple of days, but that is someplace I don't want to mess around with just yet. You can make a lot of money out in those spots, but not right now. So using Dotland, I'm just going to go through a couple systems real quick to show you kind of the weirdness of it. So let's see, in the system that I'm in right now, notice here you've got anywhere from 0 jumps per hour to 10 or 11. Really nothing here was over 9 per hour. So, and if you think about that, if somebody jumps into the system, unless they dock up in the station, they have to jump back out. So that's at least 2 jumps per guy. So in reality, only one, when this has 4, only 2 guys were jumping in and out. So really not very many people here. Got some NPC kills that were going on. So somebody probably ran a mission. If you notice right around this time, the 8 or 9 people came in, so maybe somebody came in and did a mission, came out. Nobody dying either. Jumping back out. Now, one thing to look at is, see, this is off the beaten path right here. So we want to see, does anybody live in there? Now, this is a Wednesday, probably one of the slower days of the week. So it's not going to be as busy. So I like to keep an eye out for weekdays. And then when the weekend rolls around, check that out as well. Why? Because a lot of people are weekend gamers. Groups are weekend gamers. So how much are those guys hanging out? And also to check out times. Now, one thing to look at down here is you notice this is a path. These are path-through systems. So you're going to have a lot of traffic of guys coming from HiSec, maybe going out to Iridia, or going up through Corazor. So you're going to have a lot of ships coming through here that maybe are just traveling. So this should have more traffic than the system I'm in, and it is. It's probably anywhere from 2 to 4 times the amount of traffic that I've got going through here. Also a good place for gate camps, stuff like that. Maybe a place for me to set up for a gate camp if I ever were to decide to do one. Now, one thing that this doesn't have is an ice belt. This one does. So those are things to look for. Now, down here, notice no station. So since this doesn't have a station, it's a very good chance that it doesn't have that much action in it as well. Notice here, almost nothing for about almost a day right there. Then a little bit more here, but no more than 6. So really 1 or 2 jumps per. No deaths, only a few little spikes of NPC kills. So not even any traveling for exploration ships, if you think about that. So if you're an explorer and you want to look for some sites, these are things I try to look for. So enough about Dotland. What I'm also wanting to do is check out local. Now, there was a guy here earlier. He's gone. I might be talking too loud for him. If you can't tell, I'm thirsty. But I've got my little Punisher here. We'll go ahead and undock. One thing I've noticed is I haven't run into anything larger. Maybe I fought one battlecruiser, but almost everything that I fought in the belts have been frigates, which are not too bad if I'm trying to outfit my courser. My ultimate goal right now, I already did all of this out in Stain, so I don't want to be doing what I'm doing right now for too long as far as production. I want to move on to that next level of maybe at some point doing tier Tech 2 ships, at least Tech 2 equipment, and moving into the larger and better ships than what I did out in Stain. Got my directional scanner up here, but I don't have anybody in the system, so we might as well minimize that. And I got nobody in my corp, so no need for that. And just going to warp out into my save spot here. You might have heard me say this before. I think that's, I'm trying to remember. Yeah, if you press L, this is so helpful. If you press L, um, it will bring up your saved locations in the system. This makes things a lot faster and a lot quicker and a lot easier to see what's going on versus doing the drop-down menus. I know I've talked about it before, but just a reminder. Um, Back in here, the one thing I like to look for is I like to see the layout of the system. And what I'll do over the next couple of days is I will start getting a feel for each system, how big they are, where different things are set, because as I get into larger ships, that actually becomes more important in my mind because they don't move as quickly. Right now, in my frigate or even in a destroyer, I can get out of harm's way quicker than normal. But whenever I start moving into the cruiser and the battle cruiser and the battleship area, I need to know the lay of the land, moving from system to system to system, know some safe spots, things like that. And I'll explain that right here. So again, just keep an eye out, nobody in system. I'm going to go ahead and pull up the actual system here. And maybe we'll increase this just a little bit so you can see it a little bit better. There we go. So what I like to do is just warp in here and look around. Each system is going to be different. Now, I currently have my directional scanning up. So we'll go ahead and close that down just to make it a little bit easier to see here. Now this is the system. Another thing to look for here is your tactical overlay. Notice right here, I want to move this down just a little so I can keep on the line on local. There's a ring here, two rings. One is the system surrounding the uh, the planet. I'm sorry, the sun. The other one is the distance away from me personally. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of the tactical overlay, because that not only shows you locally, here I'll show you right here, your tactical overlay shows this right here. Usually if you're really fighting, you want to get used to this because it gives you the distances view-wise. You don't have to look right at here the whole time. You can see where different things are. But what you can do is just do the remote here, and now you can't really see anything. See what I'm saying? So it clears things up, but it's your camera that your following camera. Is that what it says here? Your orbit camera. But if you notice when I pull up my probe scanner, now that tactical overlay went away, and I'm only looking at the rings surrounding the sun itself. One thing I would have thought would have been really cool, but the more I thought about it, I did some research, and I was wondering whether or not the planets actually orbit, like actually move as time goes by. Turns out these planets do not move. It's a huge thing because if these planets moved, if you notice, the one gate in the system, this is a one gate system, is all the way out here. This gate moving around is very important as far as when somebody comes into system, who can they see right away? Again, not as important whenever you're flying a cheap frigate like I am right now, but as I move into larger ships, once I start doing sites like some of these the rally points, things like that, maybe I'm doing it in a battle cruiser or a battleship that turns slowly and doesn't get away as quickly. So let's say I'm out here, and as an example, I'm in this, where is it? There's a rally point. So there's a rally point here. Let's say I'm doing this site. It is about, I'd say about 25 million AU away from the gate here. So what does that mean? So let's say some guys are hunting. They're trying to kill battleships or big ships that are out there, or mining barges. If you're mining out here in Losec or really anywhere, this is the one spot that they would have to come in by, whether unless they're going through wormholes, but let's keep it simple. They're just roaming through different systems looking for a kill. They come in here. If I'm over here, or even here, I'm outside of 14 AU. Let's just show you here. And this might be simple for you guys out there, but I like to look at it as the terrain. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my bubble on here, my directional scanner. So these guys, let's say they're hunting you, and you're over here in your carrier or your battleship or your... I used to fly 2 battle cruisers. I thought I was so cool back in the day. I multi-boxed 2 accounts at the same time. That's twice as many as I do now. But so they come through the system. This is as far as they can see. They cannot see me in my battle cruisers out here in this rally point doing it. So I have a preconceived vision going here because nobody's in local right now. If I were over here right now and they came in, I'd have all the time in the world because they came in. Now they got to warp to the sun or some other spot, which a lot of people will warp to the sun, so they get that vantage point. So one big thing is if I'm here and I see one guy come in and he warps and suddenly he's within range here, I want to get moving. I want to get to a safe spot. I want to be careful, especially if I've got a blingy ship. But this is what I'm talking about as far as terrain. Some different things that you can keep an eye out for. Another thing is to keep your eye on local. The other thing I look for here with the terrain is where am I going to set up my save spots? This one is a little bit tough. I like to save spots in areas that aren't accessible by initial warp in, but are and also not viewable by the sun vantage point. So let's say I'm sitting out here and actually I'm over here. I'm doing my rally here, and somebody warps into system. So I move to a save spot. They then warp to the sun and try to scan it out. What I want to do is be outside of a directional scan for both the sun and the warp-in systems for a really good save spot. I'm not saying it's the perfect one. It can still be scanned down, but it will eliminate those guys because a lot of these guys are going system to system to system to system to system, and they're trying to catch guys. As soon as one of their scouts comes in and they're not able to pick apart anything quickly, they don't want to be hanging out, throwing out combat probes in areas they're not sure somebody is. So one thing that I could do is warp from this gate to this planet. And I'll just show you here. I always warp to 100 so I don't get into problems. And then I'm going to pull up my save spot, save to. And as I'm going across here, I'm going to hit my submit button. And you'll see it drop a save spot there. So now I have the safe to save spot right there. What I was saying earlier was this is not the best save spot or best system to set up one of these because you have to go jump to jump. And this, if I'm not, I might be tired, but I think this is the farthest distance away where I'm not near a celestial and I'm not near the sun. Well, the sun is celestial. So if I warp back to the spot, it is a mediocre save spot. I'm still visually seen, but I'm not seen by the jump-in gate, but I can be seen by this, the sun area. The perfect spot, in my mind, would be something out here, because then I'm not near any celestial whatsoever. So anybody warping into the system would have to drop their own save spot to then get within range to directionally see me on their things. That is really hard to find. If you can find a spot like that, it's fantastic. This is a mediocre one. It's not bad, but it's something to be careful of. So those are some of the things that I look for whenever I'm flying around that aren't straight out what I want to look for. Other small things, you've seen me do this before. I will pull up the planets that are in system. This not only is for myself for planetary action, but the traffic that comes through. If there's good planets here, there might be a chance that people will be coming in and doing a lot of traffic to pick up those things. Maybe this is a place that I could hunt. I'm not a hunter, but maybe I want to learn that at some point. This right here is a great system that I can tell any system that has a plasma in it is going to be good. I mean, it just starts off good, and it can just get better. But this has got a lava, a temperate, a gas, another lava, some more gas, and then, if I'm not mistaken, it's got a barren down here at the end. Yep, a couple of barren ones. So a lot of stuff can be produced here. It's missing a few, like the oceanics and stuff like that, but you can't have everything in a system. But if you just want to get started, boom, this is a good one to go with. Last but not least, and there's other things that I look for, is whenever I'm setting up these save spots, I'm not going to delete out some of these because I don't need them. I do want to set up a save spot that is within visual range of the gate. So what I will do is I will warp 100 away. And by doing this, what I'll slowly do over the next couple of days is slowly work my way out. I'm not going to take a lot of time and write everything down. I can get that information. But what I want to do is just get a feel, go system to system kind of doing this sort of thing. But what I'm doing right here is I'm 100 degrees out. Now, it's probably better for me to do it with, or 100 AU kilometers out from the gate. But, so there's my ship. Should be pointed at the gate. Okay. What I want to do is actually go in the exact opposite direction. So we can just go right there, and we're going to click and go. Turning. Wait, it's starting slow. Yeah, I got a bad internet connection here. And I'm just turn my afterburner on here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to, once this gets over 150 kilometers away from the gate, safe, and what I'm doing here is I'm just typing in, this is going to be a safe spot that is over 150 kilometers away from the gate. So now I can warp to this gate, warp to this safe spot to see if anybody's sitting on the gate waiting for me. And this is something that takes a little bit more time. Like I said, I should have an afterburner on here because I can burn away from the gate a little bit faster. But I'll start setting these up at the gates in the area to make myself even more effective save spots. So I think other people do this, but I call them perches. I'm perching 150 or more off of a gate. Now I want it to be more than 150. And why 150? Because once you're over 150 kilometers, you can warp directly to the gate. So what I'll probably do is do it at least 175, maybe 200. And then let's say there's some guys in system. I want to warp through the gate. What I'll do is I'll warp to the perch first, see if anybody's sitting on the gate. And then once that's done, I will then warp to the gate and go through it if nobody is there. Another thing you can do is just sit there. Let's say you're wanting to keep an eye out for the rest of your crew. And you, I could have a second character just sitting on this gate and watching who comes through or not. And if they decide to come after me, maybe I can get away from them quicker. So I've got the save here. I will go ahead and hit submit. And just to show you what that looks like on the map here. So there is my, if you double click it, it circles in. Notice here, closer, closer, closer. Boom. I love how you never really realize like um, how many different things are here, but there is my save spot. So, but that's pretty much it. Other than that, let's see how much time I got on here. Well, that one took a while. Going to be traveling tomorrow and the next couple of days, meeting some family, stuff like that. But if I get some free time in the hotel room, maybe I'll make another video. If not, I'll try to get something up over the weekend or beginning of next week before I fly back to Pennsylvania. Really looking forward to next couple of days. I'm meeting my niece for the first time and going to see my brother and his girlfriend, and in separate states. So, and then I'm going to get back here. So, hope you guys have had a great week so far. Hope you have a great weekend coming up. If you have any ideas or things you'd like me to do, please let me know. I'm going to keep working on trying to make a little better videos. You notice last video I actually put a title screen up for it. I was pretty proud of that. It took me about 10 minutes with paint and snipping. It is, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on that. I like making the videos, but I got other things in my life. But I'm going to slowly learn how to do more and more of this stuff. Alrighty. Well, you guys fly safe, fly dangerously, fly however the heck you want. And look forward to talking to you soon. Have a good one. Bye-bye.